In another video, I talked about when we with someone, we don't really own them. They are given to us as a gift. They are a gift to us. And I'm glad I learned that lesson at an early age. Because, in that video, I talked about how men said, hey, if my wife did this, I would take care of her. I would, I make sure that she don't live to see another day, which is crazy. But I'm glad I learned that lesson that love is a gift. It's something you can't demand. It's something you should not try to demand. And I learned that at a real young age of 9 years old, I was taught that love can be given and love can be taken away. When I'm talking about taken away, I'm talking about taken away pretty much in the most egregious way you can imagine. I was 9 years old and I went over to my girlfriend's house and my mother said she's not here. He said she went to the store. So I waited on the porch for a while. She didn't show up, so I started to leave. And as I got up to leave, I noticed that she was coming down the street, but she wasn't alone. I'm 9, she's around about 9.5, and we're boyfriend and girlfriend. Well, like I said, she wasn't alone. She was standing there or walking up the street with this guy named Billy. And they were walking hands to hand. And I'm like, hey, when they got closer, I said, hey, Kim, what are you doing holding Billy's hand? You my girlfriend. And she told me something I'll never forget. She told me, I quit you because you're broke. And now I'm going with Billy because Billy, he has money. And I said, wait, you can't quit somebody because they broke. I don't have any money right now, but I'm going to be broke forever. You're my girlfriend. And she said, well, not anymore. And I was done. I was like, I'm done. And I just stood there dumbfounded. I was just going to leave it alone. But Billy stepped forward. I guess he had to prove his manhood. He said, hey, man, step off, man. Your girl is my girl now. And hey, man, don't walk up on me, man. And he said, what you going to do? I said, I ain't trying to fight over no girl, fight you, period. Just don't walk up on me. And of course, he kept walking up on me. And I'm like, man, look, okay, look. You guys are going together now. I'm done, right? Okay, I get it, right? And I tried to leave, and he was like, no, you ain't going. He wanted to fight. And I thought, told him repeatedly, I am not trying to fight over a girl. 9 years old. He was like, well, as I told you, she's with me. I said, you made that clear. I got it. She's your girlfriend now. He said, what are you barking at? I said, man, I ain't barking at you, man. And stop walking up on me. I said, man, you get any closer, I'm gonna pop you. And he kept coming up and bam, I hit him with a short shot. Because he was gonna hit me. He had his hand balled up. He was gonna hit me. So before he could hit me, I short shotted him right in the face. And I thought, I had a little strength, 9 years old. I thought I would, stun him a little bit. He shook that stuff off. And I'm like, holy shit. And he came at me with blows, bam, swinging. And I was like, oh man. And he hit me in the jaw. I fell back. By this time, my brother coming out, her sister Kim coming out the house. And then, oh man, Pelly in the fight. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm trying not to fight. This motherfucker trying to fight me. He was like, hey, he got a little distance from me. He said, I'm gonna fuck you up. I'm like, man. And he rushed me like a crazy, like a monster. Well, he pushed me down. And when he threw me back, he was about to drop some D's on me. And I only knew one thing to do at that time at 9 years old. I helped him down. You want to hit me in the face? He was about to drop D's on me. I pulled him down toward me. And I bit him right in his temple. I bit him so hard, I could feel the blood going into my mouth. I bit the shit out of his hand. And he, and I jumped up, spit. I thought it was blood, it was just the sweat off my face. He wasn't bleeding, but he had a gigantic knot on the side of his temple. And he went to rolling around. He was on the ground still. He sat up and then he, like a crazy ass, he was crazy. He sat on the ground and like he was doing a spinning top. I'm like, so my brother, man, go for crazy, let's go. And I'm not gonna run. I'm not running, man. I'm definitely not running, And he was like, and I could see my bite marks in his flesh. So he's like, "Are you going to jail?" You know, Mama. So he lived a few doors down. So he ran back to his house, and he came down to our house a few minutes later with his mother. Now, at that time, our street was predominantly black, but there were a few white families that still live it, and Billy was one of them. Because Billy thought, "Hey, we still run this neighborhood," whatever the hell he thought. And I guess he thought he could bully me and take my girlfriend. And I'm like, hell no, man. No. So my mother like, "Did you bite him?" I'm like, "Mom, this." I said, "Mom, this motherfucker." And I realized what I told her. I said, he tried to fight me. He took my girlfriend. And then she's not, now she's down at the door. "I ain't your girlfriend." I said, "Yeah, I know that. I know that now." You're right. I'm like, damn, this is gonna be a trend for my ass, and it became a trend. This motherfucker like, "You going to jail? You going to jail, mama?" And he's like, "Well, my son been bit by your son." And my mother said, "Well, he bit him. He must have did something to him." And a lady threatened to put me in juvenile at 9 years old. Nothing ever came of that. But you know what I learned at 9 years old? None of this that we have, not just lovers, wives, husbands, none of that belonged to us. It's all a gift. Just as it was given, it can literally be taken away at any time. And I learned that lesson. I learned that lesson at 9 years old. You guys grown men out here right now in their 40s, 50s, older, talking about what they're going to do if their wife leaves them. They're nuts. They're nuts. And I learned that lesson. And I'm telling you, if you want to be smart, if you want to avoid a bunch of crap in life, know this. You don't own that woman that lives with you. She doesn't own you. You are giving each other to each other as a gift. So if she decides to leave tomorrow, or he gets up and never comes back from going to get a pack of cigarettes, or whatever he's doing, it's over. You can try to find out why, and if you do find out why, you have to live with the fact that he's gone or she's gone. Love is a gift. It is nothing you will ever own. You'll have it for a while, and if something or someone else don't take it away from you, guaranteed death will. So appreciate the gift while you have it. It's a gift. And realize one other thing, that the person you love so crazy today, 10 years, 15 years down the road, you may not be able to stand inside of them. So why go crazy? Enjoy the love while it's here, and just keep going day by day. It's a day-to-day thing. You get better each day, or at least you should. But it's up to you. You know what to do. You're a grown man, you're a grown woman, but you don't own each other. You're just giving each other as a gift. All right, I'm gonna let you guys go. You guys take it easy. Hey, if you get a chance, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I need the help. Come on, y'all, help me out. But I appreciate you guys stopping by, and I really do. I thank you guys for everything. Y'all take it easy. Take it easy. That's the only way to take it. I'm out.